Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Good, the Bad, the Sports. Let's jump right in to today's good news. For the good news, we have a historic moment, and last night in professional baseball, Shohei Ohtani of the LA Dodgers pitched 6 innings, striking out 10 batters, and not giving up a single run. Now wait, this isn't it. On top of all these crazy stats, which as a manager I'd be happy just let alone that, he hit 3 home runs. Yes, not 1, not 2, but 3 home runs. A really crazy performance and just showing how dominant Shohei Ohtani is as not only a pitcher, but as a hitter.
One and two the count. Ohtani, did he? Ohtani! Ohtani has done it again! His third home run!
Now, let's move on to today's bad news. For the bad news today, we'll be taking a look at Emmanuel Clase, the closing pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians. Now, the big controversy over Emmanuel Clase is whether or not he was actually gambling on baseball. Now, if Emmanuel Clase was gambling on baseball, he'd be banned for life. However, he's already been suspended last season for a short time because of alleged gambling, and they just held an investigation to make sure that it was not true. But like I said before, if he is found guilty, he's going to be banned for a lifetime and he'll never be able to play baseball ever again. And that's a big loss for the Cleveland Guardians, as he is one of the best, if not the best, closers in Major League Baseball. Along with him, his teammate has also been being investigated to see if he was also in on this alleged gambling on baseball. Let me know if you think he should be banned and if you think he'll be proven guilty.
Might now be shut before the trade deadline even happened, as he is tied up in a gambling investigation right now, as he's joining his teammate Luis Ortiz on non-disciplinary paid leave as part of a sports betting investigation. He's on leave through August 31st, and this pitch to Bobby Witt Jr. in this situation is a great example. Now, basically what happened with Luis Ortiz is there were 2 pitches. They were both at the start of the inning, and they were wild misses. Why they were flagged is because there was suspicious amounts bet.
For the big sports topic of today, we have a fun topic, and we're talking about robot umpires. Yes, robot umpires. So what I mean by this is there'll still be like human umpires calling balls and strikes. However, in the minor leagues and in the All-Star game of the MLB, because they're not going to bring it to the MLB like right away, so that they can test like in the minors and in All-Star game, they will be doing challenges of calls. So for example, if the pitcher thought the ball should have been a strike, they can tap their head and it will be reviewed, and if it's a strike or like touching the corner of the plate, then the call will be overturned. Now this is a pretty interesting way because baseball's always been human umpires, so this is a big turn and a big curveball, no pun intended, in the baseball world now with challenging. We did get a good look at it in the All-Star game, and it did cause some big calls and big moments, I thought, in the game. But yeah, let me know what you think about robot umpires. I think it could be good for the game. I think it'll be interesting to see how in big moments, like if there's bases loaded and a call gets overturned, how that'll affect the game. But yeah, let me know what you think. That's all for the big sports topic of today. And to wrap up today's episode of The Good, the Bad, the Sports, I'll be giving my weekly picks on the NFL Week 7. For Week 7, we have a morning game, and it is Rams-Jaguars. This could be an interesting game because Puka Nacua is a big shocker not playing. That's a big loss for the Rams. I do still think they will win that game, though, if everyone steps up and fills in Puka's role. Then we have Eagles-Vikings. Vikings coming off the bye. I do still think the Eagles will bounce back and win that game. Patriots-Titans. The Patriots are looking pretty decent lately. So yeah, Patriots. Panthers-Jets. I think the Panthers will play. Rico Dowdle's been going crazy, even though Chuba Hubbard's coming back. I do think the Panthers will still win against a Jets team that's struggling lately. Dolphins-Browns. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. The Dolphins are still like a pretty good team, even though their record doesn't show that. But I do think they will win that game. Bears-Saints. The Saints have been hanging on this year. I'm going to go with the Saints because they've been doing okay this year. Even though their record doesn't show it like the Dolphins, they've still been hanging on. Raiders-Chiefs. Chiefs. Raiders not very good. Chiefs, okay. Colts-Chargers. I do think the Colts will win that one. That offensive line is just so dominant, and it's just they're dominant on offense. Giants-Broncos. Jackson Dart, if he stays healthy, I think he can lead them to a win against the Broncos offense that's struggling. Defense is okay, but they're struggling on offense mightily for the Broncos. Packers-Cards. I'm going to go with the Packers. I just think they're overall a better team, in my opinion. Coming off the bye, I think they'll be rejuvenated. Cowboys-Commanders. Battle of no defense. I do think the Cowboys will win because their offense is just unstoppable right now. 49ers-Falcons. I'm going to go with 49ers, even though that list of injuries keeps going higher. George Kittle is supposedly going to play. We'll see if he does play. And if he stays healthy during the rest of the season and in this game. I do think the 49ers will win, though, even though the Falcons are starting to play a little bit better on offense. Bucs-Lions, Monday night. First Monday night game of 2. I do think the Lions should win that one. They're going to bounce back after a brutal beating by the Chiefs. But they should win that game. And our last Monday night game is Texans-Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are going to win. Sam Darnold's playing pretty out of his mind. He just keeps throwing it to JSN. That dude can never be covered. It's ridiculous. And yeah, these are all my picks. These are all my picks. Let me know what you think. That wraps up another episode of The Good, The Bad, The Sports.